The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, good morning. I'm Brian Akers. Today, here on Winning in Retirement, I have Jeff Akers from Akers Financial Group. We are both certified financial planner practitioners, and I've been working alongside Jeff for over 20-some years, and just become one of those experts that we've grown from the very beginning all the way up to the man he's become today. Good morning, Jeff.
From the very, very beginning, since we've known each other my whole life.
Yeah, I'm the older cousin of Jeff Akers. I'm vice president of Akers Financial Group, certified financial planner. Practitioner. All right, today's show is a great show. You and I have talked about this show, trying to plan ahead, trying to build a show that matters, one that's going to be something that's important for you to think about and maybe replay in different ways so you can listen and understand some of the components on winning in retirement.
Right.
And so we decided to name the show How to Win in Retirement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, that took me hours and hours to come up with that title.
You had to sleep on it.
I had to sleep on it, and then the problem I had is I probably slept on the wrong pillow as I slept on it. So I don't mean to say my head's crooked, but it might be. But when we talk about winning in retirement, this is the name of the show. It's like winning in retirement. All these topics about finance lead to winning in retirement. We want to simplify the overarching concept of how to win in retirement and explain it that we can apply to the young, the very young, middle age, whatever age that is.
All through life.
Getting ready to retire, before retirement, in retirement, going on in retirement, long-term retiree. How to win in retirement. That's what our show, that's what it's about. If you want to go back and hear it again, our website, AkersFinancialGroup.com. How do you spell Akers, Jeff?
Akers.
So we don't say occurs?
We don't say occurs. We don't say Akers. We say Akers, Akers.
And financialgroup.com. You go to that website, up top there, say a radio tab, you hit that, and you'll have the shows right there. You can also hear us on other podcasts out there.
And you can hear old shows and get caught up and come up with all kinds of information out there.
All right, so I'm going to start simple on how to win in retirement. The first one is this: be prepared. So
that's good.
I don't want to sing like Lion King or some Disney show, be prepared as loud as I can. Can't do it. People turn their show off quickly.
So you want to be prepared for retirement. Absolutely.
Be prepared means doing some planning. And some of the reasons behind that is that no one else is going to do the planning for you. You need to do your own planning to be prepared. And it doesn't matter your age. There is a time to start, and that's right today.
Right. It's never too early to start.
All right, so let's do it quickly, Jeff. I'm gonna give you an age group, and then you and I are going to just talk about why they should start right now.
I'll give you my ideas, and then you can give yours.
How you want to start, with the older ages or younger ages?
Well, let's start young. That's the way most people start.
Let's use a category of young.
Okay.
And young is whatever you are, whatever you think young is. We're not going to quantify it with being 18, where you can legally do investments, or older.
I'm going in the 20s and less. Well, I'll consider young. And so at that point, you want to start saving something. Start building a habit of saving. That's kind of the first thing to do, is just to start that habit of saving.
One of the weird things is that if you're working at 18 to 21, some companies will not let you in their retirement plan until you're 21 years old.
Yep.
Now, what you do is you go to your boss and say, hey, I want to save now. Can I get in a retirement plan? And see if they can go and make a change at the company retirement plan to allow you to save in your retirement.
But even if he says no, you can still save for retirement, because you could use a Roth IRA, and that way you're setting money aside while you're making a little bit, and in retirement it's going to be tax-free.
Right. So if she says no, and there's a company plan and it does not offer a Roth, you might consider the following. First of all, you look at the match of the company. Do they match money? If they match money, the first place to save is to maximize your match. If they offer dollar to dollar up to 3%, how much do we save, Jeff?
3%.
All right. So keep it real simple. First day you get into a new job. What's a retirement plan? When can I start? Can I do my paperwork now? All right, so young, get started. And the second thing you said was Roth IRA. So my advice is this: maximize your match. Then you stop contributing to your retirement plan. The rest goes to a Roth IRA unless you make beyond the limits.
Right. Unless you make a lot of money, then you might not be able to contribute to a Roth IRA.
But simply put, maximize your match. Roth IRA, if you're under 50 years old, $6,000 a year, $500 a month, Could be a lot of money. We're not saying you got to maximize it, but do $50, $100. Get started. Make sure you do it. All right, so let's move into the 30s and 40s. Some people are in the 30s and 40s. We're not going to stereotype everyone, but stereotype a little bit.
Well, I'm going to stereotype a little bit because I'm assuming that at that age, you're starting a family. Maybe you got married and you've got kids and everything. And so it's important to protect your family and protect what you have. That's where we really need to bear down on looking at things like, do I have enough life insurance? Do I have enough disability insurance? And have I protected my family with legal documents and things like that? So it's about protecting your family at that point.
But it's also about continuing to save even when you can't. When you think you can.
For me, we're building one to another. You were saving a little bit when you're in your 20s. You keep doing that. And then we add to it. We're just adding.
Well, imagine someone's 30 to 40. They have not started anywhere, saving at all. Let's call them. So the 20s and maybe early 30s, you might be a dink. Double income, no kids. That's if you're married. You got my joke, right?
A dink?
Double income, no kids. The dink category of life. Typically, you should save a lot, but people usually do a lot and spend a lot. Mm-hmm. The highest spenders in American economy typically are the younger people that are living in someone else's house. They spend a lot. We typically would like younger people living in someone else's house. Save 25, 50% of your money. Now, don't leave it all in the bank. Put a little bit in the bank and the rest start investing. Learn how to invest.
Start saving so one day you can buy a house.
All right, 30 to 40, save. Put that money away because you put that money away, it'll grow. We're going to cover that later in the show. All right, so you got 30s and 40s blow by. Time's fast. Yes, things are crazy. You're heading towards the late 40s or into those 50s. What's the general advice on being prepared in your 50s?
And in your 50s, maximize that savings because retirement is right there. It's looking you square in the face. So that's where we're looking to, of course, maximize the match, maximize the Roth. You do get a step up in the Roth. You can save a little bit more, catch-up contribution of an extra $1,000 when you reach 50. But then you go back and you maximize that employer plan. Just start saving as much as you can towards retirement.
And the reason Jeff says maximize your contribution to retirement at 50s is because we're assuming that the person's coming to us for the first time in their 50s and they have to catch up. If you want to be a multi-million-dollar retirement person, which most of us need to be able to provide for retirement, you need to maximize your retirement from day one. You need to save as much as you possibly can from the first day of work all the way through to make sure there's more than enough money to provide you in retirement years. Our most successful 401ks with 2, 5, 8 million or more in those retirement accounts are people that have saved whatever they're allowed to save from the very beginning. Very important to start, but if you're just starting in your 50s, it's still not too late. It's not like you're trying to retire tomorrow. What you're trying to do is get ready, get some money away. And so we hit it hard with trying to get people to save a lot of money. If it's an empty nester, that's a great time to understand the balance of life, spend some on yourself, stop spending it on the kids, and save.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so someone pulls in, they call us on their 60th birthday, 62nd, 65th birthday, and they're saying, hey, Jeff, I want to talk about possibility of retirement. First time you ever met anybody. What's some general advice for them?
So this is going to depend a little bit on what they've done earlier in life, but assuming that they have done some saving, a lot of times when you get to your 60s, we need to start reducing our risk a little bit because usually you're saving in the employer plan and you're putting it all in stock kinds of investments, which is wonderful while you're young. You get into your 60s and you're getting close to retiring within a few years, then we want to scale back that risk some because we just can't afford the big losses as we go into retirement.
Yeah, so Jeff was saying a couple of things there. One is take more risk when you're young. Probably not be in those target date funds. The target date fund puts a 20-year-old in a money market for a little bit.
Yep.
Don't know why, but it does. I would say go full boat on the stock choices if they have some. The other thing is in your 60s as you're starting, it's more of okay, what number we're going to try to hit. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about cash flow and income and trying to make the numbers match. And so you have this race to retirement when you're in your 60s, and that you say, well, okay, I want to retire 65. And we're like, maybe not, maybe 67. And this is why. Understanding what's coming, when it's coming, but being prepared for a retirement that might be 20 to 30 years. We're not trying to be retired for 1 or 2 years, but retired for a long time.
Yeah, when we retire, it's important to keep in mind that that's not an end goal, is retiring, because retirement does last a period of time. Just a quick personal story. This has to do with adoption. My wife and I adopted our kids, and we spent a lot of time going through the process. And then after we got the kids, we're like, whew, glad that's over. And then it hit us. Wait, now we're parents. And so it's a whole new thing. And retirement can be like that. You get to it and you're like, ooh, okay, I'm retired now. Wait, I've got 20 or 30 years of this?
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to be in your retirement years?
When you grow up.
All right. So let's do the final category, and that is this: someone that's retired, but they don't feel like they're winning in retirement. And they hear this, how to win in retirement. Hey, I'm in retirement. I don't feel like I'm winning. And the answer is this: if you don't feel like you're winning, let's take a look at it and see, why do you feel that way? What in your finances are holding you back from being able to have your version of winning, whatever your goals are? Planning is what helps fix and helps make that better.
Right. Planning helps to reduce that stress a little bit of maybe you feel like you're not winning because the market's gone down or something, and you think, oh my gosh, now I don't have enough to last as long as I need.
Just the stress of it makes you feel like you're not winning.
Right. All by itself. So we ask a lot of questions, get a sense of where you are and what you have, and then we figure out what we can do to put you in a position where you don't have to worry about retirement. I think it's about eliminating that worry.
It is. I believe it's a combination of that person and what helps fulfill their winning in retirement. Right. And it could be many different things. It could be the ability to have a legacy of gifting, of being out of debt, of knowing where the money's coming from, of having the ability to know where the next few years money's coming from, how to take care of a sick spouse. Oh, there's a lot of issues that face us in our retirement to help us be winning throughout those years.
Yeah, I remember a lady one time, she's in her 70s, and she's like, well, I'd really like to take this trip, but I don't know if I can. And we looked at what she had, and I'm like, yes, go. Travel. Yeah. I'd like to see pictures when you get back.
Absolutely. And that's what you need to do, is understand that your retirement is built for your retirement. So winning in retirement is defined by your goals. What we want in your retirement, as Acres Financial Group, we want the best part of your retirement is going to be about getting your time back, where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away in your retirement years. Your time is now consumed by what you want to do. So begin winning in retirement right now by giving us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and one of our team of advisors will meet with you and go over your exact situation and help you through a virtual meeting, such as a Zoom meeting, or an in-person meeting in one of our offices. Go ahead and give us a call at 833-946-7384, or go to our website, acresfinancialgroup.com. What is the eighth wonder of the world, and what does it have to do with your retirement? We'll explain in 2 minutes as we begin the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Mr. Announcer just welcomed you back, and I'm here to welcome you back to Winning in Retirement. This show is put on by Brian Akers and Jeff Akers. That's our host today, but also the company, Acres Financial Group. Wow. Yeah, I wonder where we came up with that name.
Lots of acres.
Yeah, many, many acres. That's what the acres means, is a bunch of land. All right, back to the show, Winning in Retirement. It's about your retirement, so we created a show today called How to Win in Retirement. The first quarter was all about being prepared no matter what your age, and things to think about, and to get started yesterday. Start right now. Here in the second quarter, we're going to cover this topic. What is the eighth wonder of the world? All right, Jeff, you've traveled a lot around the world. Not really, but some around the world. What is the eighth wonder of the world?
Well, Albert Einstein once said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it.
Yeah, that's a brutal comment there.
That sounds like a two-edged sword there.
Yeah, so what you just said is compound interest.
Yep.
Is the eighth wonder of the world. And basically, if you understand it, you're going to earn that compound interest. If you don't get it, you're the one that's paying it out. You're going to be paying it out.
Yep.
All right, so let's break that down into compound interest, compound dividends, compound growth. What does that mean?
So it's the idea that you've got an investment and you've got it in the market. It might be in the bank, whatever it's in, and it earns some interest. And now it's worth more than what you put in. But it keeps earning interest, and so it compounds on top of itself. So the amount you're earning keeps going up over time. Now, an example I like to use with young folks is if you're 20 years old and you put $1,000 into a Roth IRA, we estimate that in 10 years, given the right rate of return, that money's going to double. And so your $1,000 becomes $2,000.
All right, so let's go ahead and stop there. So if something doubles in 10 years, there's this rule of 72, where you take basically an interest rate divided by 72. It tells you how many years it takes to double. So at 7.2%, if you earn that on average, you will be able to double your money in 10 years.
Right.
All right, so a 20-year-old will be 30 years old and has $2,000, but then he saved $1,000. That's a wonderful
thing. And they never put anything else in after that.
But that's still not the eighth wonder of the world. What's the eighth wonder?
Well, now it doubles again before you're 40, and your 2,000 became 4,000.
All right, that's starting to feel good.
Right.
4,000, that might be a good month. It's not really there for retirement yet.
Yeah, well, by 50, it's 8,000.
Nice.
By 60, it's 16,000.
Okay.
And if you keep it until you're 70, now it's 32,000.
All right, so 1,000 becomes 32,000 over from a 20-year-old to 7-year in a 50-year period.
Right, over a 50-year
Just
time period.
Compounding. The compounding is where you let your money work for you. If you do not invest, you're working for your money.
Right.
If you're paying interest, like Albert Einstein was saying, if you're paying the interest, you're paying that interest to somebody else, and you're not saving the money. So the idea is you save your money and let it grow. And if we can get a higher rates of return, we get this money to compound faster and double faster.
Right. And one of the things that we want you to do is to be saving money rather than borrowing money, not be that debtor, because when you're the debtor, you're using a credit card, and that compound interest is working against you, and it's working against you at a higher rate than 7.2%.
Absolutely. Now, some people will say, well, I'm going to leave it in the bank and I'm going to use compound interest on that. And the idea is if you make 1%, your money will double in about 100 years.
Yeah.
and then at 3%, it'll double in how many years, Chef?
Don't make me do that.
24.
Okay.
All right. So basically the math goes like this: 3, 6, and 12. Those are some magical numbers that I keep in my head. 3% money doubles in 24 years. That's not growth. That's more where you're parking your money. Mm-hmm. If we get 6% or higher, I think then we're starting to invest and grow over time. That 6%, your money doubles in about 12 years.
Yep.
If you're at 12%, it doubles in 6 years.
Ooh. Now, I like the 7.2 because the 10's easier in my head, but
right. But if you take 12%, that's a number for small cap value stocks since the 1920s. So basically 100 years of small cap value stock investing, they have averaged about 12% over time.
That's awesome. And so that's when you're young and you can take that risk. You can be aggressive with the small cap stock. So go for it when you're young.
Absolutely. And that's where one of the pieces of advice on the compounding is to have your money in the market and allow it to grow. A bunch of the advice that ties into that is this: if you're chasing returns by trying to buy and sell quickly, you're not going to allow it to grow because you're going to maybe sell it too soon and get out before it rises. You're not going to have the patience. You're not going to have the guts to buy when things are lower. The idea is truly to invest and forget. Put that money in with great managers and let that money grow for you over time.
Right. Just be consistent because, like Brian said, when you're chasing returns, you're not going to catch them. Because whatever was doing great last year probably won't be the best this year. But what was the worst last year has a better chance at being somewhere among the better investments for this year.
Yeah, now, your example sounds great for a 20-year-old, but let's say someone's 50 years old, haven't started yet. They're thinking about compounding of investments. Like, well, how can this really matter? And I think the key to the growing wealth, let's use a simple number of getting to 100,000. That takes a long time to grow money to 100,000, especially if you're starting with small amounts. It'd be honestly easier if you start with 100,000 because a double goes to 200,000. But what's amazing, though, is when we have different clients we've had a long time, if you take the same scenario, the last 10 years was a bull market, we averaged at least 7.2%. We have different clients come in. Clients that started 10 years ago with $500,000, they're at $1 million.
Yep.
When they start with $2 million, it's at $4 million. The 4 million's at 8, the 8's at 16 million. And that's just the simple math of as that compounding occurs, it sure feels a lot more money when it doubles. But it's the same percentage rate.
Right. Even when you're in your 60s, there's time for a double in your lifetime.
Absolutely, because we have time. Time in the market is the key thing to learn about this compounding. This eighth wonder of the world is time in the market. It's not timing the market, not getting out. When you hear people come in and tell stories of mistakes they made in investments, many of them are, I panicked and got out of the market when things were getting rocky. Now, some people say, oh, I got out and went back in and I timed it perfectly. That's very rare, and that sounds like you're at a party talking about things rather than the reality of your statements showing us what you've done.
Right, I'd say that's not to be believed.
Well, but the clients that come in, we had some radio listeners come in, they show a 401k, we need a couple $1,000,000 or more. It's like, how'd you do it? That's wonderful. You did done well. And they said, well, I saved throughout my life, and I have been on the stocks. I have not had the bonds or the cash side. And that's a strong piece of advice that we give. In 401ks, they have very, very little low risk or no risk investment choices anymore. They used to have them probably a decade ago. Right now, it's just a money market. The bond side, we've been trying to counsel people to stay away from the bond side because as interest rates rise over time, your bond values will go down and be a loss where you're trying to seek protection. And, over the last 40 years, you've seen bonds give you interest and growth on top, a total return. Now you're going to get less than the interest over a period of time. The stocks and dollar cost averaging the stocks and buying as you can throughout your life, it helps you grow money to be there when you need it most.
Right, and you can use dividend-paying stocks. Brian's talking about bonds. Well, stocks pay dividends. You reinvest those dividends, that just helps that total return going forward.
Absolutely. So when you're thinking about, oh, I want to catch up and I want to make myself be able to retire, we need some time. So imagine that you've saved well and it's not quite enough. You need to almost double your money to get there. We can't take extraordinary risks to try to reach it because that's like putting all of it on red and saying, I'm going to bet all my money. We have to diversify a portfolio and have some of your money building to grow like this so that you can have that money actually double over time.
Right, a true portfolio that meets your risk tolerance, meets your needs, and takes care of you. And I know as you're listening and you think, oh, so compound interest over time, I need a lot of time. When's the best time to start? Well, the best time to start is...
I say yesterday, but you already passed that. It's like tomorrow or Monday, whenever the office is open, you gotta give us a call at Acres Financial Group and get started. The thing is that people look at their money and they're like, well, I don't see compounding on my money, like on my statements. What's happened? And well, in the last decade, there was like 5 stocks that had an extraordinary decade, where like the S&P earned a certain level, but there was like the 5 large stocks, the FANG stocks actually went up a couple 100% more during a decade because those great companies had a tremendous growth rate. And so that makes you want to go invest in those. The problem is they don't keep growing to the sky like that, but you have to diversify. And some of the hardest things is to truly diversify and not put all your money into one thing. And that's something that you need to do to make you earn this general return. You only need to earn 7.2 to double in 10 years. Right. You don't have to make 15.
Yep. So don't be over aggressive as you're getting older. When you're younger, go for it. When you're older, let's tame it a little bit.
See, I don't really agree with the go for it when you're younger. Also, I believe having stocks diversify even at a younger age. I don't believe in putting all your money into one stock or trying to day trade one stock trying to get wealthy. I think there's building your foundations of your fundamental retirement plan, and then you can have some play money. You might want to do that. And if you read any book on investing, what you'll find is that you got to build your core wealth and then have some money at risk. You never have all your money at risk. And that's what's some of the biggest mistakes of young people right now is all their investable dollars are 100% at risk. And they think that's the only way to try to get somewhere. And that's not the advice we're throwing out right now.
Right. And psychologically, sometimes they see their investments go down, and then they're kind of scarred for life, if you will, because of that, and they never want to get back in.
Oh, we've met people, my money's been sidelined since 2008.
Yep.
And it's like, well, what happened then? Well, I got real scared, and I lost a lot of money, so I got out. And how much is it worth? Well, it's worth about the same as then. It's right. Like now you got to catch up to retirement, but the market's always volatile. There's always some reason not to invest out there. There's always something going on in the world that causes things like this.
So consistency is a key.
Right. So the 8th wonder of the world, Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Be a saver where your money can work for you. Very, very important. At Acres Financial Group, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a company on Wall Street. We report to you. We do have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville, and we have the ability to meet anywhere in Maryland through a series of satellite offices. But we also have clients all around the country and a few around the world. So what happens when we're talking about retirement? It's all about you and where you are. And what we want to do is for you to begin winning in retirement by giving Acres Financial Group a call to schedule a free meeting to go over where you are right now. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you give us a call, you can leave a voice message, and one of our team members will give you a call on Monday to schedule a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Pay yourself first. More on that in 2 minutes.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Acres Financial Group. Offices in Lutherville and Forest Hill. We do meet with clients all around Maryland and around the country. So there's all kinds of ways to work with people nowadays with virtual and in person. So it makes the business a little different each and every day. Right, Jeff?
It is different. It's been different for the last couple of years, that's for sure.
And what's good about it is we can meet people and sit down and talk with them. And it works out very well. It makes it very convenient for what they need to do and what we need to do. It's been a really good way to learn and add technology into the planning phases of life. Yeah,
there are folks that really love some of the new ways of doing things because we can do virtual meetings with you through Zoom and stuff. We can do phone call meetings with you. And there are folks that just really enjoy that.
I don't enjoy phone call meetings. I love the Zoom. I love the Zoom because we can share information back and forth on the screens. It's really nice. All right. So the reason we talk about that is that when we talk about financial planning leads to implementation where you invest money and grow money. And Acres Financial Group, we do all of that. We are licensed to be an advisor and handle and manage money for you. We help be an insurance agent where we shop the insurance side. We work with each and every of those investments. The company is designed as an independent advisory firm to talk about you and your unique situation and then to implement it based on what's right for you and your family. So we talk about advice and what to do. That's what we do for our clients. That's what we built the show about. The show is called Winning in Retirement because we want people to win in their retirement years. But today's show is about how to win in retirement. What is the Acres Financial way to help you win in retirement? So the how to win in retirement has been very, very, very important. The first thing we talked about is being prepared. Second thing is about the idea of understanding the eighth wonder of the world, the compounding of your money with growth over time. Here in the third quarter, the second half of the show, we're getting into some basic fundamental concept. And that first one is pay yourself first. All right, Jeff, why is that so important?
Well, we tend to do what's important to us first. And I remember someone told me a long time ago that everyone has a certain amount of income, and it's like a pie. And so the first part of the pie comes out, and for me, one of the things that's important is I'll tithe, I'll give to my church. And then the second thing that's important is I want to save for the future. And so I need to carve out some. And it's kind of the reason that the federal government and the state government, they take their taxes out of your paycheck before you get it. And that way you sort of don't miss it. You don't realize that it was taken. Well, I kind of trick myself to doing the same thing. I'll save to a 401k and it comes out before I ever see the money. So it's like, oh, well, this is how much I got, but I'm really saving. So it's a way to trick myself a little bit.
Yeah. So I agree with the concepts of what you're saying, but the reality is that no matter what you make in life, you're going to basically spend it all. Mm-hmm. As people go up the income scale, they spend it all. I learned that very early on in my career because when I met someone who was making around $600,000 a year, my brain was thinking, "Oh, that's enough. That's enough. I mean, that's enough." And then the word "enough" has never crossed my mind again because people adjust their spending to what's coming in, and then what happens is there's never enough. It's really the answer. And the idea is this: the habits that you got to have will help build the wealth that you need. That's a very important thing to understand. The habits that you have will build the wealth that you need. So understand it like this. Money comes in. Now, I honor God by giving a tithe, giving that money first. Now, that money, in my opinion, isn't even mine. Now, the second part of it is I set up where money comes out and gets saved and invested before it hits my checking, before it gets in there, so that I know that it's gone and I can dream up what to do with the rest, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when the money hits the checking, I do have some more investments coming out. So I have the retirement plan through work. Yes, Acres Financial has a retirement plan.
Go figure.
And yes, we enjoy 401k with Roth and
a match.
and a match, which is nice. But the idea is that you save at work, you maximize your match or whatever you possibly can, and then have the ability to save. Now, when it hits your checking account, what I like to have, at least for me and for clients, is let's pull some more money out and save that. Like if you say, "Well, I can afford $1,000 a month to save," I'd say, "Let's pull it out. Let's get it going. Let's get it to work." Let's make it automatic where we're not trying to decide, "Oh, I got to write a check this month. Oh, I don't feel good about the market. I'm not going to write the check." By making an automatic bill, making an automatic payment, paying yourself, paying your future self by throwing this money to your own future, you'll have more and more money down the road when you need it because you're going to retire someday. And then that investment, that money that you saved, will then be paying you for you to enjoy those retirement years.
Right. So having that automatic payment, that ability to not have to think about it every month is a wonderful thing because that's why you'll get a loan at the bank or something, a mortgage, and they'll give you a little bit off the interest rate if you set up automatic payments because they know, okay, this won't be forgotten. This is going to be paid. So they'll give you a little break on the interest rate.
Yeah. So like if you draw like an oval circle, like an egg, and you put a line up top and you say, "I'm going to save first there." The key thing is how much to save first. My guidelines, at least 10%. If you start, like we began the show, if you start at different ages, you probably need to save more and more. But if you save 10 to 20% of your pay before you get going, that'd be incredible to do.
That's a great starting point.
But it doesn't have to be that way. It can just be start somewhere with some money, pay yourself first, and then you'll work out the rest of the budget. It's pretty amazing how you will figure it out.
All right, develop the habit and then build on the good habit.
Yeah, one way of building on the good habit is at your work inside the retirement plan. Typically, they have an option. If the younger you are, I think it's an incredible option. You pick Roth, and then you pick an escalating saving where they might take 4% out this year, 5% next year. They pick more and more every year, and it'll slowly build, and you won't really notice the increasing because you're just living off the net. And living off the net is really a key ingredient to the saving years and also the retirement years, is knowing what your net is so you know how to live and how to make retirement work for you.
And something else you can do is as you get raises at work. Well, if you've got enough coming in, everything, all your needs are met, and then you get a raise, well, then save that extra that you're getting. Start setting that aside. Maybe keep a little bit of it to do what you want, but just save a bunch of that. And that's a way to build your wealth to retirement.
Now, we've done some planning for people that get large bonuses, usually early spring. Also planning for people as they retire where they get a large payout at the retirement year. Could be severance, could be sick leave, could be a combination. And what we do then is we maximize the retirement plan, the 403B, the deferred comp, 457, the 401k, whatever it is, but we maximize the deferral. If your company allows you to change your contribution limits, if you're going to have a big week where you're going to have a huge overtime, one way to save your money on taxes is to defer more for that week, so more of it gets put away to your retirement. I think it's very important to understand your budget, where money's going, but it's very important to have a habit, and that habit is a habit of savings.
And one other thing on that saving to your retirement plan at work, most plans will let you set a percentage of your income. And so if your income varies, it fluctuates from week to week or month to month, then on a month when you made more, then that percentage is going to mean that you save more in dollars. Yeah. And if you make a little less, then you'll save a little bit less. So use a percentage for that savings instead of a hard dollar amount.
Yeah. The next piece of advice I have is this, is paying yourself first. It is about retirement, but it is also about medium and short-term expenses. So imagine that we all need to drive a car. And the question would be, do you have a car payment now? If you don't happen to have a car payment now, what if you save that car payment? Now, that's what I recommend to many people is let's save that that car payment, $400, $500, $800, whatever. Some people's car payments are a lot higher than that. But Imagine you save $500 a month and you put it into a mutual fund that diversifies, that buys things now, and you keep buying every month. And then whenever you have a car issue and you're ready to buy another one, there'll be a fund with money in it ready to use to buy the car.
And you can pay cash for the car instead of taking a loan and paying interest on the car. That's that Albert Einstein not understanding it.
Early in my career, one of the guys was like a general manager of a place I worked at. He was saying that, Brian, I don't have car payments. Like, oh, that's awesome. He goes, yeah, the first 10, 15 years were hard. could only buy a car worth the amount of money I had saved. And then ultimately, I took that car payment and I started to buy real estate with it. And he used that to buy townhouses and other things. And that really started growing that side of his portfolio also. So instead of wasting money on on car leasing, he put it in buying real estate. I just thought, oh, that's awesome.
That's someone who got it when he was younger.
He got it when he was younger. And then when he's in his 60s, it was a question of, what do you want to do today? There's a lot going on in his life that provided income. And that was just a great way of understanding how important on these large expenses where your money's going. I'm not trying to have a show on purchasing cars right now, but the idea is that money that's flowing out, save it for the next one, and you want to try to buy a car within that range. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, that might not be a lot of money, but putting some money aside. Right. Paying yourself first with your goals in mind. Let's say you're near retirement and we need to save money, and then we use some of that savings to just get rid of whatever debt's out there. Very, very important. There might be big events where you might want to remodel kitchen, could be do the roof in 5 years. Whatever the goal is, there's a reason to save and a reason to put this money away, and you need to actually do it and have that money flown. Not flown. I don't want to like totally send everything out of your account, but make sure it's being allocated properly.
Right. If you have it set at least arm's length away so that it's not easily pulled in for just regular everyday expenses. And so it could be projects like you talked about. It could also be you want to take a big trip, so save up for that big trip.
Yeah, the old school banking used to go set up a Christmas fund. Mm-hmm. Now with banking, you can actually, through the websites, you can split out your account in multiple side funds, which some people really do a great job of that. It's almost like the cash envelope way of budgeting. The old school, you take the cash out and put it in envelopes for every expense. Now you can actually do it electronically through your website, through most banks.
Right. So that's a good way to just have things set aside for what you need. Also have an emergency fund in there. Keep putting money aside because there are going to be unexpected things that come up. You might not need a new car, but it might break down.
Now, after hearing all that, you're probably, I need a basically unlimited source of money to be able to fund all these ideas.
Almost.
And the reality is what you need is to know what you have coming in, know it so that you then can apply it to your budget, and then work within the numbers that you have. And of course, if we can make more money, we work on that concept of growing your net worth through your income too. All of these tie in together to build your retirement. At Acres Financial Group, we want your retirement years to be like this, where the biggest worry of your day is where you're going to drink your morning cup of coffee, your afternoon tea, whatever is the best thing for you currently. What we want you to do is think about this, where every day seems like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income or investments are all taken care of by the team of advisors at Acres Financial Group. If this is the future you want, it's not too late. We want to provide you with a peaceful retirement. Begin by calling Acres Financial Group to schedule your free meeting. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave a voice message, and we'll give you a call on Monday to schedule a virtual Zoom or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Do you have income that you can truly count for a lifetime? We'll talk about that in the fourth quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Akers from Acres Financial Group. I'm president and founder of Acres Financial Group. When we founded Acres Financial Group, one of my first employees was Jeff Akers.
Go figure.
How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, we're in the fourth quarter, and our goal is to talk about winning in retirement. But we're trying to break it down into a new show called How to Win in Retirement. I thought it was a pretty good topic, a good idea to break down the fundamentals of what our clients need to do to help them win in retirement, no matter what age they are. No matter if they're young and want to learn how to get there. If they're already in retirement or somebody that's just before retirement saying, okay, I want to win, I want to retire, I'm ready to go. What do I need to do now? And that's what we're talking about today. What you should do is really give us a call, sit down, talk with one of the team of advisors about where you are and what you need to do so you too can be winning in retirement. This show is recorded, obviously, and put on our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. You can go to that website, and under the radio tab, you can listen to our past shows. I'll talk to one of our clients we've had since he was like early 20s. He's nearing 40 years old already. And he goes, what podcast should I listen to learn more and more about finance? And I said, you can listen to ours. And he goes, oh, really? I should. Yeah, you're right. I should. So I explained how to access that through different podcast networks and also through our website. He's been going through it, and he checked back in with me and said, I'm taking notes on all these different classes. I'm trying to understand all these aspects. And I thought, you're going to be an advisor before we know it if you listen to all of our shows. And he goes, I'm not trying to do that. I just want to make sure I can maximize everything I'm doing. And I thought, wow, that's truly what we want people to do with listening to the show, Winning in Retirement. It's not, the goal isn't to do some type of gimmick and try to teach you, just buy this one thing that solves all your problems. It comes down to this. Understanding where you are, we call that your unique financial fingerprint. Mm-hmm. Taking that plan, having a coach, a financial advisor come alongside and guide you into and through those retirement years by offering winning advice, winning in retirement advice. All right, Jeff, so we're here in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that winning advice. And our show is called How to Win in Retirement. First quarter was being prepared. Second quarter was about the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. The third quarter was pay yourself first. Yeah, first.
Numero uno.
And then the fourth quarter, we're going to call that income.
Income.
You need your money to work hard for you. Now, why do people need their money to work hard for them?
Well, the money needs to work hard for you. Otherwise, you're just going to have to keep working hard for your money. But when you're in retirement, you're living on that money. So the money's got to be doing what it needs to do to generate the income that you need to live on throughout retirement. So we want to make sure that you've got the income that you need to last throughout your lifetime.
And one of the reasons people need to have income is the fact that no one else is giving them income in retirement years. It's not the government. It's not your company. So the idea of pensions are something that are fading away. Even the pensions that are offered now, they are actually changing how much they will pay you, and then how much they will pay you in the future by taking away cost of living. Now, Social Security does have some cost of living whenever inflation is extraordinarily high, but they're going to take bigger and bigger chunks away with Medicare.
Because that has inflation too.
Yeah, but the reality is that you are going to need to be responsible for your own retirement income. And the only way to do that is to have money prepared, set aside, and growing to be there to use in your retirement years.
Right. We can't count on someone else to provide for us throughout retirement. When Social Security was created, it was just as a supplement to get people out of poverty in their old age. And it was designed to be payable after the person had passed away, so they wouldn't get it anyway. So Social Security is not there to be the be-all and end-all for retirement. So you need to have money saved for yourself in order to win in retirement.
Right. So as we've been building the show about being prepared no matter what age, get started so that you're ready. Allow your money to grow and to be invested in stocks. But as you get into those retirement years, you need to create income. We create income through multiple different ways, but one of them is through the use of fixed annuities, where we work on that income being reliable and to last a lifetime.
Right, something that's guaranteed, that'll last as long as you do, and depending on what we use, maybe even something that has a little bit of a cost of living type adjustment. It can increase over time because with inflation, we do need to increase our income as time goes on.
Now, some people say, oh, I don't like annuities because that's what some firms have used as their advertising thing. Is I hate annuities because they like extremely high fees management, which they charge like double what we charge, but that's their way of advertising. So the annuities is like any tool out there. You need to know how they work. We do not use immediate annuitization annuities unless we have to. Right. And that's where you give money to an insurance company and they pay you like a pension for as long as you live, and then all the money's gone when you pass away.
Right. And so with interest rates being low, you don't get enough payout over time. If we use an immediate annuity, we'd usually use something where there's a set period of time it's going to pay. It's not just based on your lifetime, so that we know we're going to get at least this much out of it.
or someone that just doesn't have a lot of money. We got to make that piece
That's got to last.
Got to last and be coming in every month, and it also doesn't count as an asset for certain situations.
Right. And every now and then we'll have a client who's lived a really long time. They get to 95, 100 years old, and an annuity that they've had for years is required to start paying them. So in that case, we'll use something with that period certain, a certain period of time that's going to pay. And I've had cases where that person then passed away and their beneficiaries keep getting that payment until that time frame comes to an end.
Right. So you might own an annuity and you might say, well, that's that folder over there, and I'm not sure what it is or how to use it. And one of the things that we offer at Acres Financial Group is come in and let's talk about what you currently own. That's that unique financial fingerprint, where you are right now, how to maximize how it works so that you're getting the most out of that and using it properly. Because these income riders, there was around Baltimore area, people used to sell things with like a 7% and or 8%, and that was actually something called a roll-up only for annuities that offered income, and you'll never see that piece of the money unless you turn on the income in your retirement years, need it or not. So generally, we use that whenever we have to out of IRAs at RMD time. But these annuities, knowing how they work, like any good tool, very, very important. But there are a way to give you money that'll last a lifetime for you and your spouse and have some cost of living based on how the investment does.
Right. And that guaranteed payment for a lifetime, well, that sounds like a pension. So in essence, a pension is a type of annuity that we've got. Now, when folks come in, there are some folks that they come in with an annuity that they bought somewhere along the line. And like Brian said, that I'm not really sure what it is. And so we'll help you figure out what is it and how can you use it? Is it the best thing for you? Is there a way we can use this in your plan? And there are other folks that come in, they might not have one, and there's a need for that. And so we'll find the best option and then go through that with that client to make sure that they've got enough income for the rest of their life.
And so imagine that annuities are used on the fixed side. I consider them bond replacements. Then the rest of the portfolio is still a diversified portfolio of stocks, dividend-paying stocks, and we draw income from that also. That's more of our variable income and our income that has the ability to grow at a greater rate as the stock market grows over the next decade.
Yeah, we talk about diversifying our investments. Well, this is diversifying our income when it comes to retirement. Get it from different places, because in certain years, one thing's going to be the best place to get it, and in other years, someplace else is going to be the best to get it. So we want to have that variety to choose from.
Yeah, so what happens is this. When you think about how to win in retirement, you're already in retirement. You're like, well, I wish I could win more. I wish I had made more every month. That's one of the things we review is how to raise your income, how to give you more income based on the money that you have saved already. So that's just another piece of the planning of putting it together. Planning might seem overwhelming because you think about, I got to go through all this information. Well, let's make it simple. Come in with your question. Let us answer that question. We'll build a plan on the side without you even thinking about it, because we're going to have to get to know you. We believe that financial planning done in your best interest is the only way to do business. It's not a new thing for us. It might be a new regulation for some people, but in our reality, what's best for you starts with understanding where you are now. That's our unique financial fingerprint.
All right. We want to do what's best for you, and we need to figure out that income, where it comes from. Like Brian said, we build the plan for you. A lot of times folks think about, when I get to retirement, I'm going to need this income, but I'm not sure how to do that. And so they know they need it, but they just don't know how to do it. And that's where we come in. We can take care of that for you.
Yeah, I think about other financial services people around. A lot of times they will solve for the one moment of a person's life, and then they never hear from them again. And what we try to be is a firm that's there to service what's happened and what you might have done before. We actually are able to be the advisor or the rep or the agent because we have all those different licenses to provide. The difference between our reps being CFPs and advisors and stockbrokers, insurance agents, licensed in every way, is that we are actually able to do any and all of those pieces of business.
We can do all that planning. And what Brian mentioned about someone, they set you up for today and then you don't see them again. Well, a funny thing happens over the next 10 years. Things change.
Yeah.
You might move, you might have grandkids, someone might pass away. And so whatever that plan that you had in your mind was years ago, well, it doesn't apply anymore. It needs to be modified and changed. And so that's why we like to come alongside you and go through retirement with you.
And that takes the stress out of everything, right, Jeff?
Right. Let us have the stress. We'll take care of where things need to come from. You don't need to worry about that. We'll have it coming to you.
Because a properly drawn plan will help you get through the volatility of everything going on. There's always going to be a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on out there, making you doubt your plan, doubt what you should do, or doubt, oh, can I afford to go do a certain vacation, or can I give money to a child? Is there a situation where I can actually use my financial money? And we try to balance that with what's your goals, what's actually the reality of what's going on right now.
And what I really like is when someone says, well, things have changed, so I don't know, with the market, I don't know if I can do this trip. And we're like, well, we've got this set aside for it. Yeah, you can. We planned for it. So go ahead and do it. Don't worry.
How do you make these decisions without a coach? How do you decide what to do without a financial expert that does it all the time? I mean, you go read about it, but you can't really know all the aspects of everything at one time. Bringing it all together is what a financial advisor does. Now, Jeff, thank you very much for a good show today. It's been a fast show. We're talking about how to win in retirement. Yes, the show is called Winning in Retirement, so every show is geared toward that kind of concept. But today we gave you our how-to. Our how-to is be prepared. Take advantage of growing your money and use that compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. Make sure that your money is going to last a lifetime. Also, make sure you have not giving your money away to too many other things, that you've actually paid yourself first by investing your money that way. We also recommend you pay yourself first by investing in an advisor. Have an advisor to sit down with you and talk about your financial plan. We want you to win in retirement. Take advantage of the opportunity that we're giving you, and that is to begin planning with one of our team of advisors by scheduling a free meeting. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and one of our team members will give you a call on Monday to set up a time with one of these team of advisors to talk about you and your question. Start planning for your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.